What's up, everybody? My name is Mario and this is the Bearded Sportsman. I gotta say, I have missed you guys, and to the new subscribers, thank you for tuning into this, to enjoying this. It's the middle of November. I've been gone for quite a minute. We just got done with deer season, and I do have a video that I'm working on right now to get up to you guys. And although we didn't get a deer, we had some beautiful opportunities and got to see a lot of wildlife. But here's the deal. That is not why I'm talking to you guys today. The reason that I'm making this video is to tell you about my absolute closest bear encounter of my entire life. And it was unarmed, and it was 20 feet away, and it was exhilarating. I was working up at a lake that is northeast of here. It's called French Meadows. And I was driving up there to go work on a piece of machinery that was up in the mountains. And I got to the site. Long story short, the customer told me that there was a sign of bear in the area. The other guys on site have noticed the sign, the tracks, and the scat, but nobody had seen the bear yet. But they could tell from the size of the signs that it was a good sized bear. And he was kind of nonchalant about it from there. No big deal. I go to the machine, working on it, and go walk back to my truck. And in the maybe 75-yard distance from the machine, around the corner of this dirt road to my truck, I was walking. It's up in the mountains, so you got trees on either side. And I go down through the creek, come up the other side, and I'm walking down the road, and there's one row of trees right along the edge of the dirt road, and then it's just kind of open and then scattered trees from there. I've painted the scene. So walking down this road, I hear a branch break just on the other side of that tree, which is, like I said, about 20 feet away from me. And it was loud enough break for me to know that it was definitely an animal. And my excitement sparked because I'm thinking, all right, it's a deer, right? It's a deer or something along those lines. So I hear it break and I think, all right, that was something. So I turn my head, and wouldn't you know it, behind the brush, I just see this very large black fuzzy ball scooting the other way, opposite of the direction I'm walking. And it immediately hit me. I'm like, that's a bear. That's a black bear. So I keep walking, and I've got my eyes on him. As soon as he gets past that brush that's between us, he turns and goes directly across the road behind just where I was stepping. And I think to myself, I know I haven't had a lot of encounters with bears in my life, and the ones I have had have either been from inside a truck or from far enough away. So I knew that I was not going to run. That was not even considered. But I'm thinking, do I continue to keep my pace of walking towards my truck nice and calm, or do I stop and do the cactus pose? So I'm just keeping my eyes on him, thinking about, all right, how's he reacting? I know he knows I'm there. I'm not trying to be quiet. I wasn't trying to be quiet in the first place. So I turn like this, and I'm watching him, and crosses the road, same distance, about 20 feet. And this guy, no exaggeration, was like this big and like this tall, huge. The way that I eyeballed it, probably about a 400-pound bear. So he walks by, and he's grubbing on some stuff, jet black color, and his face was a very light tan, kind of a stubby nose. A little different than anything that I've ever seen as far as the bears up here. And so he walks across the road, just kind of tilts his head, looks at me, lets me know that he knows I'm there, and then turns his head back, keeps walking, and then drops down to the creek and disappears. Right after that, customer walks up, and I'm like, hey, I found your bear. He goes, where? I was like, well, right about where you're standing about 10 seconds ago. He crossed the road, and his face turned ghost white. So it was a fun experience, I'll tell you that. It was a lot of fun, and by that I mean, I didn't know, it was exhilarating. I was speechless for quite some time, and then I was able to gather my thoughts on what had just happened. And ultimately it made me realize that the encounter went well. You know, I didn't expect, it's not like, he's not a grizzly. I didn't expect him to turn and just start swinging his scissor claws at me, trying to maul me. But nonetheless, never having close encounters with a bear, it was eye-opening. I know he knew that I was there. There was no doubt in my mind that he knew that I was there. After that, I had the epiphany and realizing that if I can encounter a bear at 20 feet, unarmed, then I have nothing to worry about when I'm out in the forest hunting with a deer rifle on me. So with that being said, that opened my eyes up. Not to say that there's not the possibility of a bad encounter in the future, but nonetheless, this was a good experience. And the 2 weeks later, when deer season came along, I spent the whole 4 days of deer season hiking everywhere I went. Hiking for 4 days straight, deep off the road, getting out there a ways, and encountered sign, and it didn't faze me the way that it used to. And that was just like such a relief to have a fear that I had built up in my head of this like super fictional scenario of, if I step out in the woods, I'm going to be mauled by a 30-foot tall bear every time. So nonetheless, it was great, and it's definitely opened my eyes up and changed my mentality towards it. So yeah, that was my fun close encounter while I have been away from the YouTube. So anyways, I will see you soon. Yep. Everybody, have a good week.